Good morning, Frontline Church family. For our Sunday Moravian text reading, we're back in the Psalms. Just a short psalm, Psalm 67, but it's a really powerful psalm that I believe if we take hold of the key principles in the psalm, well, they will make a massive difference in our lives and in the world around us. So let me just start by putting those ideas out there, the two big ideas as I see them in the psalm, and then I'll just unpack them a little bit, and then hopefully you'll apply them through this day and through this week ahead. So there are two parts to the psalm as I see it. Firstly, this, that living in God's favour and blessing is one of the greatest tools we have in evangelism. And secondly, praise, worship, thanksgiving releases that blessing into our lives. So part 1, verse 1, the psalmist is asking God to bless him and to bless the people. And hopefully those words are very familiar. They're the words of the high priestly blessing from Numbers 6, that God would be gracious to us. In other words, God, would you treat us better than we deserve? That's your grace. And God, would you bless us? That word bless is the Hebrew word barak. It also means to kneel down before. It's the picture of a father lower in himself to come eye to eye with his child. And God, would you make your face shine upon us? Would you smile upon us? Let us radiate and reflect your glory, that our faces would be radiant. It's such a good prayer to pray over our lives, over our families. It's a prayer I use almost like a formula to help me pray over us as a church. God is a good, good Father, and you are his beloved child. That means his desire is to bless you. But then verse 2, we see this reflex. Do you remember that word reflex? If you're poked in the eye, you blink. A natural outcome to the right sort of input. And the reflex here is this, that when the earth sees God's favour on our lives, when people see God's smile and favour upon us, then salvation comes to the nations. God's blessing upon our lives isn't just for us. We're blessed to be a blessing. His blessing is a powerful tool in our witness. You know, if we live in this miserable, impoverished existence and we're like, oh, I found Jesus, he saved me. Come to Jesus and you can be miserable and serious and frugal like me. I mean, it's not a great advertisement for the abundant life that Christ has promised, is it? And of course, I know we need to be real, we need to be authentic. Of course we do in all of life, but why not make your real and your authentic a life of blessing and favour and joy? Then when people see how you live, when they see how you work with energy and excellence because you're working as unto the Lord, when they see how generous you are to the people around you, when they see how much holy fun that you bring to your workplace, when they see God's favour and provision and health on your life, and then you invite them to follow Jesus. Well, that is such a powerful witness, isn't it? So God's blessing is a great tool for evangelism. And the second point is this, it's verse 3 to 5. The psalmist calls the people to worship, to praise, to join their voices together in unified song. And I hope we know that that's not about, 2 fast songs and 3 slowies on a Sunday morning. It's about a lifestyle of worship. And I really hope that's been the outcome of lockdown for you. I hope that you filled your home with the sound of praise and worship, that you've been raising your voice in your home in worship. But then as we move to verse 6, we see a second reflex. As we sing, as we praise, then the people are blessed, then the land is blessed. It's the answer to the prayer that the psalmist makes in verse 1. And it's the exact same principle that we see in the priestly blessing. If you read in Leviticus 9, the very first time that Aaron speaks the blessing over the people, not much seems to happen. But then he goes into the tent, into the holy place, into the presence of the Lord. And that is what praise and worship does. It takes us into the presence of the Lord. And then when Aaron came out of the tent of the presence, he blessed the people. And God's glory fell on them powerfully. Leviticus 9. Encounter reflexes with blessing, and blessing reflexes with witness. And I pray that this day you will experience that in greater measure. You will take hold of that in greater measure, that the Lord would bless you and keep you and make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord would lift up his countenance, his smile upon you and give you his peace. And as he does that, the world would see and know and taste and experience the goodness of God through you.